Welcome to the Rise to Shine podcast with Noelle Kustas, where we ignite the spark to discover your favorite self. It is time to get real, ladies. Hello, and welcome to the Rise to Shine podcast. I'm your host, Noelle Kustas. And today I am sitting down with someone who is not only a dear friend, but also a true light in the world, Shana Towns. I am so excited. She is a certified emotion management coach. She's also a doTERRA wellness advocate, and the heart behind Shana can coach. She supports people through life's emotional highs and lows using powerful coaching tools, essential oils, and holistic self-care. As a longtime caregiver herself, Shana has a deep passion for helping others, especially those caring for aging parents, reconnect with themselves emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And her work is all about healing from the inside out and holding space for others to rise. I am so excited to have you on the show today to share your wisdom, your heart, and of course, your story. So, welcome, Shana. So happy to have you today.
Hey, Noelle, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely want, I know we go way back and I know a lot of your story, but I would like to really just let our audience hear more about you. And if you could just introduce yourself and share a little bit more about your journey and what actually brought you to this work as an emotion management coach.
Absolutely, of course. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. Okay, so my name's Shana, and again, like Noelle mentioned, is I work with Shana as Shana Can Coach. I'm an emotion management coach and a wellness advocate with doTERRA. And when I started using essential oils 10 years ago, I was a single young mom raising three boys all by myself. And I was stressed. I had like so much going on. I was juggling everything. I was mom, caretaker at a daycare. I was newly divorced, just so much stress. And I had so much going on. And I realized that I was just on autopilot and I wasn't managing well. I was breaking out. I had like acne, from stress. I remember an aunt was like, "What's wrong with your skin?" And I was like, "It's
Oh,
stress." And she's like, "Just get over it." I'm like, "I wish I could." I wish it was that.
oh, we wish we could do that, right?
Yeah. So I was just managing so much, and I realized that I needed something. I needed help. I needed support. I've had a dear friend introduce the oils to me. I got on a supplement called Zendocrine that totally detoxed my body and got helped me clear up my acne, which was of course amazing. But I also realized as I was using the oils how much power they had and how much it was helping me personally manage, just like calm down when I needed it. And I just started grabbing oils for everything, like using them for
Mhm.
everything, using them on my kids. And so it just became part of our household routine. And it really made a difference. And I just realized the power in them and how much it was helping. So it just became part of our lives. And now, I mean, my kids still use them, to this day, they're all grown and out of the house. They're like, "Mom, I have oils." So, and then when I got into like the coaching and the emotion management part of it, I realized how much that was really helping me navigate through tough emotions too. Because sometimes when the stress gets to be a lot, you need something to kind of help you balance all that out. So it really, really was powerful and made a difference. And I was like, why not share this with the world if I can? That was my goal.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know. I have to say love the oils. Had no idea the impact they would have in my life as well. This is another reason why I just love this conversation and I love that it has transpired into even more for you and we're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about that. So, I know that, you have worn a lot of hats. You are a coach, you're a doula, wellness advocate, and you're a caregiver in multiple different ways.
Yeah.
But how has being a caregiver, personally or professionally, shaped how you show up for others now?
I think just having the experience of caring for people in many different facets, like just
Mhm.
wearing many different hats, as you mentioned, I think I've learned so much about people and what they need, and then also what I need. So, with the caretaking, again, have been a doula, so I see people in a very vulnerable, situation,
Yeah.
part of their lives, this chapter of their lives where there's a lot of changes and mixed emotions. And so being able to support people through that, I mean, I just realize over the years of helping people that people just need support. They need love and support. That is the biggest thing. I think one of the biggest needs of human beings. And so also same with the daycare. I've had, kids in and out that I've been raising and helping parents raise. And so all of those different things now as a caretaker to my mom, realizing that, she needs things, specific things, and then I need to put the oxygen mask on myself as well.
Such a
To
good analogy. Yes.
better take care of her, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I've learned a lot just about people in my caretaking and what they need.
Right, absolutely. And I know, you have talked about this and you have said this that you um feel like support is what women need, like love and support. That is what we are craving, even if we don't realize it, right? Like we could be going through the hardest time and yes, we're trying to be these women that are independent or we're trying to get through things and oftentimes we are guilty of wanting to get through everything in isolation or to, just we're maybe kind of holding on to shame, things like that, that we don't express what is going on. So,
We're
um,
like superhero mode. I got it. Don't worry, I got it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, so true. And I just working with so many clients, this is exactly like what we have to break through. And, you also say, I know what it feels like to hold space for everyone else and forget that we know that we need support as well. So, can you just unpack that a little bit for us? I think so many women can relate to this.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my own personal experience for sure. Just I've realized, and I've had so many people tell me, because I'm by nature a caretaker, I'm
Hmm.
an empath, and so I've had so many people tell me, like, "Are you taking care of yourself?" And
Yeah,
I used to be like, yeah, of course, I'm fine." Like, yeah. But
totally.
now I really stop and think about it, and I'm like, when's the last time I had a self-care day, or when's the last time I did something for myself that wasn't at all, for someone else. Like it didn't have anything
Right.
to do with anybody else. So I think it's really important that we, embrace that and we make sure, if you have a friend that's, as a caretaker, like check on them. We all
Hmm.
need that. We all need somebody to just ask if we're okay. I know sometimes when somebody asks me if I'm doing okay, I get choked up just because I don't get asked that very often.
Yes. That's such a good point, and I'm so glad that you said that because I feel like it's just the reminder, especially for the women that might not be, because there's all different women, and you and I get along so well because I too am a caretaker and I am an empath as well. And same experience when someone asks me how I'm doing, I'm almost like taken aback by it, like,
Yeah.
oh, let me think for a second. How am I doing? And it helps me to reflect because sometimes we can get so caught up in caring for everybody else and making sure everybody else is okay. And then sometimes what happens to caregivers too that I have recognized is they can, after a while of being the caretaker and always being the one that's taking care of everybody else, sometimes when they're having a hard time, they can become like almost hurt in a way because they're feeling like no one asks about me. Like, no one, like, when is it going to be my turn to be taken care of? Right. And that's what I
Yeah.
love about the work that you do because I feel like this is exactly what that is about is recognizing that. And we're going to get into, some of those ways that we do that. But before we do that, I want to talk about because this is big and this is big in my world as well. Can we just talk about this sandwich generation for a
Hmm.
moment?
Yeah.
I am telling you this is coming. I literally have chills on my body just bringing this up because I have been talking about this so much lately because this has become so foundational in my mentoring with midlife women. And I know you coach women in this phase as well. So
Yeah.
let's talk about it and why is this such an emotionally intense phase for so many women right now?
Well, I think there's just so many conflicting emotions that come with it. So, like speaking from experience, I'm so grateful that I can be able to take care of my mom. She was a wonderful mother, such great care of me. So of course, I'm gonna do the same
Yeah.
for her. But also there's moments where I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And nobody like it's like you shouldn't say that. That's a taboo thing to say, but that's how you feel. And it's okay. It's okay to say like two things can be right at the same time. You can say like this is I'm grateful to be able to help take care of her, but I also am tired, and I this is a lot or I need help. It's okay to say those things, but we have to make it okay. And I think us talking about it and years ago, maybe just because it wasn't in our um, peripheral, like we weren't able to see it right away, but
Right.
nobody talked about this. And I feel like now it almost feels shameful, to talk about. And people are like, oh, you just gotta hush hush, don't say anything, like other topics that we are learning more about now. So I feel like it's so important to put it out there and let people know it's okay to ask for support. It's okay, to find it frustrating. It's okay to have bad days and good days.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, and this is what we talk about. It's like you've got your parents here, and I even have a grandparent still who is alive, and my mom is her caretaker. So I've
Mm,
got my 93-year-old grandma, I've got my mom and stepdad who struggle with some of their own health issues. They're in their 70s and they're reaching that point where there's some limitations, right? And then I've got my kids, and
yeah, that you
kids.
still worry about. Yeah, you're
Right.
still.
And even
Mhm.
if because in midlife, I had my daughter a little bit earlier on, so she's in college now. But I had my son when I was 35, and so he's still at home with me, 16 in high school. And so I'm like trying to navigate all of that, but
Yeah,
then I'm literally in this place of like, oh my gosh, they need my help and I need to be there for them. So it really is. I mean, when they say it's like a sandwich
sandwich.
space, you are in the
Literally,
sandwich for
yeah,
real.
stuck
Um,
in the middle of all these emotions and all this
yeah,
navigating. Yeah,
yes.
totally.
And again, when you're younger, you don't think about this. And when our
Right.
kids are younger, we're not really thinking about this because at that point, our parents are still thriving for the most part.
Yeah.
And it is hard. And I just feel like I have so much more grace now for
Mhm.
people who are going through this because there are days that are heavy. And I love that you say it's okay. Like you can hold hard things and you can
Yeah.
hold space for all of it. The hard
Mhm.
days, the days that you're like, okay, I've got the energy to do this. And then
Yeah.
also be like, crap, I don't want to do this today. And
Yeah.
it's okay. You're not a bad person for that
Right.
because we're
Exactly.
all experiencing it. You are not alone in this space at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's get into your coaching. So tell me what exactly is emotion coaching. I mean, I know, but I would
Yeah.
love for other listeners to know because really it's so special and I just feel like it's such a powerful tool. So I would love for you to tell us, what it is, especially for women who are feeling like they're running on empty.
Yeah, yeah. So, thanks for asking that. It's really an important topic. I feel like a lot of people don't really know like what it is. Of course, we all know what coaches are and therapy is. It's very similar, but emotion coaching is a little different. With the process that we go through, I help people notice what they're feeling. So first, we identify the emotion, name it. So, for example, when you're feeling overwhelmed, that's the feeling. Like you're overwhelmed, and that's okay to
Yeah.
say that you feel that way and then understanding why you feel that way is very important too. A lot of time, again, it gets shameful by feeling like saying that you feel a certain way. So just identifying it and making it be okay, letting yourself, be heard to say like this. And there's a lot of journaling that's involved in this process. So a lot of it is writing things out and just getting things out of your mind and your heart onto that paper.
Yeah.
And then you learn simple tools. So as you're navigating all these different things and you're learning tools like breathing, journaling, using your essential oils. That's one of our big tools. And you help get these feelings moved out of you instead of letting them feel stuck and stagnant. So that's
Mhm.
that's basically what it is, like having a gentle guide who teaches you how to talk about your like what's on your heart and then so you can stay calm, handle it all and handle it better and then stay in control when life is just floating as normal or hard when it gets hard.
Yeah. And that's what we talk about a lot on this podcast is that, ladies, we got to face the reality that we're still going to hit a wall We are still going to go through hard things. It doesn't go away, but the beautiful part of all of this, like, the guests that I've had on here, the coaching, the mentoring, all of these experts, it's that same message of having the tools to navigate when these things arise
Yeah.
because they're going to.
Yeah.
And, I just think it's so, so important. So I'd love to know what are some of the biggest emotional blocks or patterns that you see in your clients? And then how do you guide them through some of, that guilt or overwhelm or not being like us and not always knowing how to ask for help?
Right, right. I think fear is a huge one. A lot of people are afraid to ask for help. Fear is huge. I think just being more self-aware,
Yeah.
so having a little bit more awareness is sometimes can be tough for people. Just emotional regulation, so just learning how to regulate those emotions. I feel like those are some of the main things that come up. And so those are all things that we learn in this process. We have an emotional breakthrough process, and it's a worksheet that I work through with you individually, and we, work through that and use incorporate essential oils in it. So each emotion has a specific essential oil that is tied to it and can help you, can help you navigate through that emotion. So it's a really powerful process, and I love it because there's so much you're learning, and I feel like usually a session is about an hour. Sometimes we go over because what happens is as soon as you start talking about one emotion, another one comes up and another one comes up. So you start to uncover all these things that you might not have even realized you were feeling, and it's a lot. It's a lot to open up, but it's amazing. It's a really, really powerful process.
Oh, I love that. So, would you be able to just kind of walk us through maybe a simple like mini tool? I know you say that journaling is big and some of these other things, but just any kind of mini tool or just even a grounding practice that we could use in the moment, especially when we're feeling like overwhelmed or emotionally completely like overloaded.
Yeah, yeah. So what I like to do actually with clients, usually what I do after a session is I record a meditation, and I usually will record it and I'll send that to them, and then I'll have an oil that they can take and use. And so what I like to recommend people do, again, journaling is powerful and huge, but also to take a moment and just take an essential oil or just take a few moments to take some deep breaths and then listen to a meditation. And there's so many like you can find online. Some of the ones I have in my Essential Emotions book are amazing.
Mhm.
There's also an app that has the Essential Emotions app, and they have downloaded meditations that people can, listen to. But those are so powerful. So just taking a moment, and it's like it could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, and you just sit and you take some breaths and just take a moment for yourself, and it's amazing how powerful it is, and it really does. I mean, I know people struggle sometimes to meditate, but I feel like once it becomes a practice, you kind of, it's fun. It really is fun, and it's just like, wow, this moment is just for me, and it's so
Yeah.
important to have that.
Yeah, totally. And I know that we have a local group that we do, that we're in together. And we did some work with them with the oils and just, some visualization. And it's so powerful. So let's like dive into the oils because I think, there are people that hear about oils. There's people that are really into them. There's people that are like, oh, okay, essential oils, like, okay, whatever. But then, there are people that are curious because I do think that it is becoming more commonly recognized to really use that as part of your practice of, just being able to like calm the nervous system and being able to do all of those things that relax you or to even like for me, I diffuse oils in my office when I'm in my office, and I use some of those oils that are going to kind of like be, something that kind of gives me that extra energy. And, and I have always been someone that has heightened smell. I mean, this is truly like my family, it drives them crazy because I'm like, what is that? What's that smell? Like I have been that little girl forever. And
Mhm.
so oils for me, like I just geek out on them.
Yeah.
But I know it's a huge part of your practice. And so can you just explain to our audience just how scent and the brain are connected and how oils can help with emotional regulation?
Yeah. So what I like to use the analogy. Have you ever smelled like fresh cookies or your grandma's perfume and immediately it makes you feel happy or brings back a memory, like a
Yep.
special memory? That happens to me all the time, all the time. And that's because that's how our nose talks to our brain. And that has a lot to do with it. So when you smell something, there's tiny scent molecules that go up your nose and they hit something called the olfactory bulb. And that's just a fancy name for the part of your brain that understands scent and smells. So the
Hmm.
olfactory bulb is directly connected to the part of your brain called the limbic system, and this is what helps control your brain's feelings and your memories, the center of all of that. So all of that is stored in there. And so it really helps you feel emotions and remembers things. And when you breathe in a smell, it can instantly make you feel happy, calm, it can make you feel energized. It actually can make you feel sleepy. So
Yeah.
it even remind you of somebody that you love. Like I know I have a really special scent that I think of every time I smell it. I think of my grandma. So it's really powerful. And
Hmm.
so the smell goes straight to the part of the brain that controls our feelings and our memories. And so that's why using essential oils works so well. It helps your brain and body feel how you want to feel just by smelling them. And it's important to always use pure essential oils, especially in that. If you think about how much it's connected to your brain, if you're using something pure, then it's even better. It has such a more significant impact.
Yes, totally. And there is, there is a difference. I'm going to tell you guys. Like I have tested this out and there are times that I'll go to the store. I won't mention names, but like, you can go to these stores and you can open up some oils or smell these oils and you can actually smell it's what do they put in like alcohol or like there's some
Yeah,
kind of yeah
yeah,
that you can
yeah,
smell the difference. It is not pure.
right.
Definitely makes a difference. When you're using pure essential oils, you can tell the difference really quickly.
Yeah,
So trust me when I say you want the pure essential oils, I promise you. And
yeah.
just for, uh, just for fun, I would love to know what are your favorite go-to oils for that emotional support, especially when we're talking about caregivers? And what's the easiest way that people can use them at home? Ladies, get out your notes because you might
Yeah,
want to take
yeah.
this down.
Right, right. And one thing I do want to say too about the store oils, this is
Yeah.
very important, and I like to remind people of this. If you go to a store and you pick up a bottle of oil and it says 100% pure, they only have to have one drop of that oil in that
Mm,
bottle for it to be
thanks for
considered
sharing
pure.
that.
And
Yep,
you can tell and you smell it, you smell the difference, and
totally.
they also don't last very long. And if there's a caution, don't ingest, you know it's not pure because you should be able to ingest it if it's pure. So
Yeah.
those are just a couple of tips when you're
You.
shopping.
I'm so glad you
Yeah,
shared
of
that.
course. Yeah. So my favorite go-to oils, especially for in this phase of my life as a caregiver, I've noticed that I like balance. It's very grounding. It's a blend that we have that's very, very grounding. It's got a lot of earth sense to it, so it's very, very grounding. Adaptive is a stress
Mm.
support. I think you have adaptive.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, best friends with adaptive. It is stress support. It is such an amazing smell. There's so many different things in it too, so it
Mhm.
definitely smells different almost every time I use it, I feel like. But it's even got lavender in it, which is super calming, but it's great for anxiety, stress, anything like that.
Yeah.
And then another one I really like, which I actually did a live on recently, is Lang Lang. It's the heart opening and self love, and that one is beautiful. I love that oil. I've been using it even more since I covered it in my life, and I love it. It's such a beautiful, uplifting, and just makes you feel loved. Like it feels like a hug when you smell it. It feels like you're getting just a little hug, you know.
Yeah. That's a great way. That's a great way to describe it. Like I used that a lot. Actually, I mixed that with a citrus. I think I put it in with grapefruit, if I remember correctly, back in my classroom. And I used that. And let me tell you, my students like literally would come in it's so funny because I diffused oils and I always did like a little permission with this with my parents at the beginning of the school year to let them know that like we'll be using those and I was wanting to always use things that were safe in the classroom and stuff. But I'm not kidding you when I tell you if I did not have that diffuser going before my kids walked into class, they were like, "Where's the oils?" Like, I mean, it was, they wanted it's almost
Oh,
like it became an extra tool of support for them.
yeah.
And I always wanted to create a space, and I would do research on all the different oils of like what's good for test taking, like what's
Yeah.
good, when we want to put them in kind of like more of that relaxed state when they're reading, and we're doing our read alouds and things. And so, anyways, it was always fascinating to me, but I will tell you, it made a difference. Like, I truly, truly believed. And even teachers would come into my room a lot for their breaks or their lunch breaks. And by the time I ended my teaching career, I think every teacher in my pod was all diffusing oils. Like, we were
Yeah.
all doing it.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. It makes such a difference in the environment that you're creating. And
Yeah.
so you mentioned a few ways to use them. Obviously, diffuser is amazing
Yep.
because that you can just put it up and it just helps, diffuse it throughout the whole room. And that's a
Mhm.
great way to use it. I love to use them topically again if they're
Yeah.
pure, and you can use them topically. If you have sensitive skin, you can always dilute them with a carrier oil. But
Mhm.
topically is great. I mean, I put, lavender on for this, and I was just like, it's just such a like calming scent, and they help with other things. I mean, lavender helps if you have like a bug bite, and it helps relieve the itching, so there's so many
Yeah.
benefits for it. And then internally you can also use some too. I like to either put some in a drop of water sometimes, and every morning now I've been doing lemon, a couple drops of lemon in just a glass of water first thing when I wake up, and it's such a good detox, and it literally can feel my body just releasing all the toxins out of it. So
Mhm.
it's really
So
great.
good.
So, yeah, so there's a few ways you can use oils, and like I
Yeah.
said, they're really powerful.
No, so good. As a matter of fact, my daughter walked in this morning. She was picking up her brother, and it was so funny because she just walked by me, and I was like, "What are you wearing?" I could smell, like, what is that? And she was like, "Oh, it's just my oil blend, Mom." And
Oh,
so it's like, but I mean, it is. But she says, she goes, "Mom, I love this blend because," she said, well, and what I love about it, how like perfume, you put
mhm.
it on and then you stop smelling it, and you put on these essential oils, and like you can smell them for a very long time. And
Yeah.
she loves to have her little roller with her, and then she'll put it in her hands and do her, big inhales in, just to kind of like feel that calming. But
Yeah.
there's just something about them that are super special. But I know we could go on and on about it, but this is where
Mhm.
everybody has
Yeah.
to be in touch with you to start learning more about these oils. You do some really amazing things that, I know on Wednesdays you put out a video that you talk about your oils and the different things. So I love all of that, and we'll definitely chat about what you've got going on. But my last question, just before we go into something fun that we do at the end of all of our guest episodes now,
Okay.
you talk about self-care as survival and not just being this luxury. Because a lot of
Right.
times, women hear self-care and they're like, yeah, that's like going and getting a massage, that's going to get a mani-pedi, and like that's just
Right.
a luxury that a lot of us don't have. Well, we talk about that it really is for your survival. So, what are some simple self-care rituals that women can integrate into their day, even if they're short on time, even if they don't have a lot of support in their life? Like, what are some easy things that they could do?
Yeah, like, well, journaling, of course, back to journaling. It's always so
Yeah.
powerful. Even a few moments to just write 3 things you're grateful for every day, and
Yeah.
then 3 things that you want to accomplish, and whether it could be like a big thing, a small thing, anything. I like to just do that sometimes, and it really just brings me back to myself again.
Mhm.
Um, I always use oils when I'm journaling because it helps bring up thoughts and things that I might not have thought of otherwise. Meditation is great. If you have a few moments to just sit and meditate and inhale an oil, just take some deep breaths. And I like to do that. Actually, that's kind of one of my things I do hand in hand. I do the meditation and breathing, and then my journaling right after. It's a great combo to do together. Lately, I've been taking like evening walks when the moon's coming up. We have these beautiful like moon rises, and I just
Yeah.
pretend I go take an evening walk, even if it's 10 minutes around the block. It makes such a difference to just get some fresh air and inhale and just breathe and just be for a moment and not have anything else that you're thinking about. Leave your phone for a moment and just don't touch the phone and just go and do that. Those are super important things that I like to, recommend and do myself. And also, I mean, it's free to take a shower or a bath. Believe it or not, it is really, really makes a difference when you just put some cool water on your body or warm water, prefer depending on what you prefer. Just taking a bath with some oils in it and some Epsom salt. I mean, I'm a big bath person. I love taking a hot bath. That just makes a really big difference too. So yeah, I agree with you. There's not, sometimes we're busy women. We don't have a lot of time, sometimes to
Yeah,
do just the full spa day or the full like, self-care day. It's
exactly.
great if you do have a chance to do that, of course, it's wonderful too. But just
Yeah.
those few moments, but you got to be intentional about it too. I mean, I know a lot of times we talk about it and then we don't do those things. So being
Mhm.
intentional and making it a practice, whether it's a couple days a week or every single day, making sure
Yeah.
you're doing those
It's like
things.
those little micro habits can
Yeah.
make such a difference in our lives. Just like what you talked about, like putting a couple drops of lemon into your water and just having that right off the bat. That's a micro habit of like, it's just something that you can stack on to your day that is easy and it can become a non-negotiable. And you're going to start feeling the effects of that and how good it is for you to
Yeah.
literally be life changing. So, I mean, these things are so important. I have just loved this conversation so much. And I just feel like it's so needed for women. I feel like it is so healing talking about some of these things. And especially like when we really, I feel like women hear things. As like a big picture. I love that we were able to like kind of dive into some of the specifics because that is always fun. And I just want to say, thank you for sharing those tools and your story. I know that they're going to feel that shift as we go on. And we'll definitely, before we wrap up, we'll make sure that you are sharing with us how we can find you, where we can find you, and all of the things. But before we wrap up, we have this little fun thing that we do over here at Rise to Shine, and it's called a spark and spill. So it's just a quick round of heart forward questions that we just do to get to know our ladies a little bit better, just like the fun parts of us. So just go with your gut. You can be super, quick. You don't have to think too hard about them, or I hope you don't have to. But would you be willing to play with me?
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
let's do it. Okay, so my first question is a book or podcast that you're loving right now that lights you up.
Okay. Well, that would have to be my first thing because I've been obsessed about this and I've been wanting to talk about it so bad. But it's called "The Mountain Is You" by Brianna Weiss. Have you
Okay.
heard of that one? And it is life changing. I started reading it about 2 months ago, and I finished it. And then I always go back, to some of the chapters because they're so life changing.
Oh,
So I've been reading that, and then I just recently got her other new book called The Life That's Waiting, and it's
love
like my
it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. And this is what I love because we rarely repeat any books. Like people are always sharing these and these are just like those great resources that I feel like women take note because these are the ones that you should be looking into. So I love 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 that. And okay, number 2, coffee, tea or something else entirely. What's your go-to sip?
In the morning, coffee, and in the evening, I like to have tea. Usually, it's like I usually make homemade Earl Grey tea, and
Nice.
it's I add oils to it, and so it's really
Uh-huh.
really heavenly and delicious and cozy. Just tea
Love
is
it.
my thing. I've always been a tea drinker, but I recently
Yeah.
started drinking coffee, so morning for sure coffee.
I love it. I love it. Okay, who is a woman that inspires you and why?
Oh, I have to say my mom
Yeah.
because I don't want to cry talking about her, but she is such a strong woman, and she's so always been such a great example to me. And when we found out she was sick and had Alzheimer's, I thought, man, like she hasn't skipped a beat. Like she's still going for it. She loves to water and take care of her garden, and she's doing all the things. And even though she like forgets things and she's having some cognitive decline, she is still like her amazing, fabulous self. And she's always been so inspiring and taught me so much. So I'm super grateful to be able to have her live with me and be able to just soak her up as much as I can right now. So my mom.
I love that. And she's a special soul. And what's really crazy and ironic about all of this is that when Shayna and I had connected, it was actually because I had her son in one of my classes. So this is aging me because her son is fully grown and out of the house now. But what was so fun is that later we found out that our parents, our moms, went to high school together and graduated together. So crazy small world and so much fun. But she is such a light. She's darling. And I know how grateful she is to have you be her caretaker. So just what a beautiful gift you're giving her. I think that's amazing. So, um,
Thanks.
last question. If you could give your younger self one sentence or one piece of advice, what would it be?
Um, I would say, um, do all the things you want, but also listen to the women that are wiser than you.
So
So
good.
that's been huge for me. I feel like I have younger nieces, and I'm always telling them like, "Hey, listen, I went through this. You don't have to do that, but also I want them to live these big full lives, so it's just like live your life, but listen to me, the things that I'm telling you.
Right. Have at least that seed planted back there,
Exactly.
so
Yeah,
you can think about it. Yeah.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I love
So
it.
yeah, so there's so many women that we can learn from and have
So
brought
true.
so much, if you're listening, that have brought so much to my life. So I appreciate that.
Oh, so good. Well, thank you so much. And ladies, those of you out there listening, please be sure to connect with Shayna. And Shayna, where is the best place that we can find you?
Well, I am, so my website is shanacancoach.com.
Mhm.
So I have info on there and I have a connection calendar. So if you're interested in, booking with me a session or, just getting to know more about what I do, I'd love to connect that way. And then also Shana Can Coach on Instagram. I do a live video every Wednesday usually, and then I post it afterwards. And there's a lot of good oil info, tips, and tricks on that page. So you can definitely follow me on there or Facebook, Shana Can Coach on Facebook. So
Love it. Yes. And again, all of this will be in the show notes. So just make sure you take a peek at that. And you will definitely want to connect. Like I said, you've gotten a little glimpse of her here, and she is just a light. And so again, thank you, Shayna, for taking the time to be with us. And just wanted to say for all of you out there, keep rising, keep shining, and know that your best day is right here waiting for you. All right, you guys, bye, friends, and we will see you next week. Thanks for joining me here today. Your presence means the world to me. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider leaving a rating and review, and don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Head to the show notes and let's connect. Rise to Shine Co. is ready to support you in coaching, collaboration, life tips, or even a coffee chat. Until next time, keep shining, my friends.